Well played. Mark, huge win, big goal in a season that hasn't been short on Mark Cucurella goals. Just tell us the feeling then as the ball smacks off your forehead and you know it's goalward bound.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I think the team deserves this moment. It's true that we suffer a little bit. I think we don't start well the game and then we lose a bit of confidence. But then we know that we need to stay in the game and we have the chance to score a goal, and I'm very happy. Thank you to my friend.
Reece, when Mark walked in, you said match winner, but you provided the cross. When did you know that you're in business? Your little turn, cross, when did you think, OK, we've got this?
No, I knew that I had space and time. I just put it in an area. I knew if I put the ball in this area, this man is always arriving. So no, I'm happy that we both helped contribute with the win today.
So honestly, you expected that Mark might be the one to get on the end of it?
Yeah, for sure. I had with my eyes closed.
Is he telling the truth, Mark?
I don't know. No, but yeah, I think this goal is because we train a lot of times in training. We know, like, if everyone do that, we are training in every day, so we can score. And I think we know that he need to put the ball there, and I know that I need to arrive in this position. So I think it's a goal that we are working during this week.
Yeah, it is like a really satisfying goal, isn't it, when it's fullback to fullback? What is it in whether it's today's game, as Mark says, the work you do in training, the manager, the system that allows that kind of thing to happen?
Well, I think we've been working the whole season. The messages have been clear from the start. Executing them at times has been hard. Today, what we're trying to do, probably paid off, and it looks good. But this is what we do day in, day out. The game was tough. They came here, they went man for man. The first half was super tough. It was quite unexpected. But we was we stayed in the game, and we knew we need to come out and score. Thankfully we done that.
And while we're discussing moments of quality, how well did you catch that one first half? Did you think it was in? Just needed maybe a little bit more cut or whatever on it?
Yeah, it was close. I knew there was a man there, and I needed to get around him, and he was quite wide, so I knew it was going to be tough.
And how's the ankle? That looked nasty first half.
No, it was tough. It was sore when it happened, but I completed the full game.
Yeah. Are you getting more and more confident in your body right now? You've had a run. I know you're not starting every game, but you are having a run where you're there or thereabouts every week.
Yeah, no, I feel confident. It's the most I played in a few seasons. I'm happy to help the team, as much as I have this season, and I hope it can continue and we finish off in the right way.
Yeah, one more to go, Mark, plus a cup final. How big a win was that?
Yeah, it was very important. I think we have been working for these moments all the season. I think we have 2 more games left. Depends on everything, so we need to push hard last weeks, give the last effort, because I think we deserve moments like today, and we need to finish the season strong.
And lastly, for you, Reece, because you're captain of the team, you've seen previous Chelsea teams develop and go on and actually win the Champions League. So how big an achievement do you think it would be for this pretty young Chelsea side to make the Champions League?
No, I think this is where the club belongs. In the Champions League. Competing in the best competitions. I have no doubt. A lot of people like to write us off and call us young and inexperienced. But we played against a very experienced United team today. With a lot of senior players. And we was there. We won the game. It probably wasn't our best game on the ball, but we got what we needed to do, and we walk away with 3 points.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.
He said it himself there, didn't he, Reece James? Wasn't our best night on the ball, but was there a bit of Champions League quality about the goal, Jamie?
Yeah, there certainly was. I think when you want players on the ball, and we talk about how the modern game evolves and full-backs getting high up the pitch, that's exactly what they did. And it was so important when they were involved in this, Roy.
Yeah, and obviously a nice switch of play here, and United under a lot of pressure. Strange enough, James doesn't get a great ball here from Neto. He makes him stretch for it and brings a brilliant finish. But once James gets in that position, the quality, the weight, some people might try to whip it out, but that decision making, and obviously you need people attacking it. So really excellent goal from Chelsea's point of view.
Cucurella makes it, Jamie.
That's why we've highlighted him. He's involved there, and also like what Moises Caicedo does there. He passes that ball out to the first side there. Then he receives it again. You can see he wants it. He changes the point of the attack. Now all of a sudden he gives Manchester United a problem. They've got to readjust. And then you can see the defence is now, and Cucurella's found himself in a really good position. Cole Palmer's with him. He has to pirouette here, obviously, Reece James. Now, look, you've got Cucurella's found himself with that gap just behind Lindelof. The delivery is wonderful, and so is the header. It's like Drogba, Diego Costa type. You know, it's really good. But this piece of play, Garnacho doesn't do well enough. Really poor defender from his point of view. But then the quality, can you just lift it up into the right area? Cucurella arrives, eyes on the ball. Brilliant header.
Do you think when someone like Cucurella, someone of his stature, sneaks in between Mazraoui and Lindelof, that they don't pay as much attention to him because of his...
I think they just switched off when they saw James eventually when he had his back to goal. But when he's turned, it was as if they were on their heels. They probably thought Garnacho was going to do a little bit better. But once he gets turns and puts it in there, they are on their heels, and it's a bit of quality. And again, sometimes it doesn't have to be a great cross or a bad cross and cause you problems, but this just gives you every chance. It just stands it up nicely. It's just the right weight. And when it left his foot, we're watching here, you're looking, going, United are in trouble. Just the way that it left his foot, you're going, there's trouble here. Now, we still got to finish it. And he finishes like a striker, hell of a header. And but the quality from James there. But poor from United again, just off it, not aggressive enough at the right times. And Chelsea pressed them. I thought Chelsea showed a lot of maturity in the second half, considering it was a big night for it. They were a bit, obviously nervous. They knew the other score, but they kept the composure. And there was always going to be one goal in it, because United obviously don't score many. And once they got that goal, then it was game over, really.
He's ended up being a great signing, Cucurella, because I think when he came from Brighton, the fee was expensive, like 58 million or something like that for a left-back. I think had Chilwell, players like that here, maybe just thinking, is he going to fit in? He struggled. I think it's a great example of patience with players, even if they do cost a lot of money, because you sometimes think they're going to come in, hit the ground running. It was the same with Caicedo. You look at Caicedo now, he looks a world-class player. When he first come and the team was struggling, devoid of any confidence, it was very difficult for him. But the left-back, Cucurella, I thought was magnificent. He's aggressive. I think the Euros obviously helped him winning that, gave him that little bit of...
growing that, didn't you?
Yeah, he's got that bit of nastiness about him.
But it's also difficult for players to come in, Jimmy, when there's lots of new players coming. They won't... Even United, players going to United at the moment, they're not going into settled teams. So it does have to be that element that give a player 6, 12 months, even longer to settle into a new team, particularly when there's high expectations. And some of these Chelsea players now, who are heavily criticised, and some rightly so sometimes, they're now showing their quality and look a lot more settled.
You saw the celebrations. Do you think they have a sense that the job is done now?
Chelsea? No, I don't think so. I just think it was a relief that they're obviously they're in the driving seat and they've got a game to go in terms of the league. I know they've got a European game. But again, if you gave them that at the start of the season, they have to go and win their last game, I think they would have took it, because particularly with a young, inexperienced group, which they showed in the first half. There was a couple of times I thought they should have put balls in, they didn't. So they kind of seemed to cop onto that in the second half. I think they would have took that. I think they would have had to took that to get in the Champions League with a young group, a new manager trying to settle in. Again, 1 or 2 injury problems. They'll be delighted with that. And they showed a bit of character tonight. We go back to football tonight. There wasn't much goal mode action, but that's where you just show a little bit of desire and a bit of quality to get over the line. And that's why they were so relieved at the end.
Absolutely, but it's made it beautiful now. When you look at that, it puts pressure on Manchester City. They've got to get a result against Bournemouth on Tuesday. Nottingham Forest have got to beat West Ham, and if they do, they know they've got
to get 65.
They get a big playoff against Chelsea. I mean, those fixtures right now, I don't know about you, Roy, but I think, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen next week with Manchester United, but I think I'd rather go to United away than Forest away last day of the season. So it's still...
Might Arsenal even be sweating?
God, now you're taking it to another level now.
If Newcastle were to win there on Sunday.
But it's a big game now, But you'd like to fancy yourself, at Southampton.
Could you see Manchester City missing out, Roy?
No, you just think with Pep there and the quality they've got, they're used to the scenario. You think should be able to deal with it. Obviously, Forest will be kicking themselves for the last month or two. But yeah, wouldn't it be amazing if Newcastle go and win at Arsenal? And yeah, it is exciting this last week or two with the Champions League places.
Indumentaria, la Kings Limited Gold Edition. Solo hay 50 unidades de todos los equipos y también puede ser vuestra entrando en kingsleague.pro. Así que es los datos a tener en cuenta en cuanto a indumentarias. Gran partido, Gonzalo, Gerard, el que tenemos por delante.
Ojo, estilo La Bombonera, estadio... de River.
Hostia, más minutos de retraso en el inicio, ¿eh? Ya tenemos lío.
Lo llamó Edo, dibujando la parábola sobre la banda derecha, donde en el vértice del área aparece Nadir. ¡Nadir para adentro! ¡Gol! De Nadir Lua, que tiene una facilidad pasmosa. Encuentra a Pablo, qué balón para Nadir para el segundo. Se zafa de Cócera, es un golazo. ¡Es un golazo! Señoras, señores, bienvenidos al show de Nadir Lua. Pibe.
El mejor.
Vamos
Haciendo
a ver.
espionaje, ¿eh?
Vaya mierda dado, pibe. Va, ya te puedes ir a la cúpula a comer, va.
Tiene que salir Cócera para entregar hacia el centro. Se la regala Coy, le puede pegar Coy para adentro.
Vaya chicha, nano.
¡Gol! De Porcinos Óscar Coy. Ah, pues sí.
Tony, ¿tienes brazalete con él?
Pero es que, señores,
Te lo dije,
Tenemos, comodín, ¿cómo lo usamos? Penalti.
penalti.
Venga, será penalti.
Vamos, Cuni.
Puede meter en el partido a Cuni. Jordi para adentro, ¡qué golazo!
¡Guau!
¡Dios!
¡Gol!
Tío, eso, dale.
Vamos con Nadir Lua y con Laura Vizcaíno.
Pues sí, Nadir, 2 goles, victoria y a cuartos, enhorabuena.
Sí, sabíamos que el partido iba a ser muy importante porque veníamos de una muy mala dinámica. El equipo ha estado bien, sufríamos defensivamente y creo que hemos estado muy juntitos. Y nada, primer objetivo cumplido.
Os espera Science, rival complicado, imagino.
Sí, empatamos contra ellos y en shootout
Más
perdimos. Ha quedado segundo por algo. Nada, concentración, confianza con nosotros mismos y intentar ganar para el sábado estar en el Wizzing.
Os lo veremos mañana, mucha suerte.